All right, party people, which would you rather shoot? A standard AR-9 that accepts Glock mags, or the micro Roni that converts your Glock into a pistol caliber carbine? All right, guys, so welcome back to the channel. I don't know if you guys have seen the video I've done on this one. This is the CMMG Banshee. This is one of your higher end pistol caliber carbines. This one accepts Glock mags and shoots 9mm. We've done a lot of upgrades to it. If you haven't seen those videos, you know, I'll put a playlist in the description so you guys can go check that out. But a few months ago, we had gotten the Fab Defense KPOS, which converts your standard Glock into a pistol caliber carbine. And everyone in the comments kept saying, dude, you need to review the micro Roni. So I got a micro Roni. Got my Gen 4 Glock 19 in here, got a couple little goodies on that. Now this thing, I haven't even fired it yet. So I really hope that it functions well, because what you get in the box is far superior to the Fab Defense one. It was very interesting. It came with the iron sights. It came with this red dot. It actually has a safety right here, which the Fab Defense KPOS didn't have. And that was something that I kind of listed as one of the cons. But let's just go ahead and stop talking. Let's shoot this, and then let's compare that to the pistol caliber carbine, see which one we like better. I'll show you guys more about this here in a minute, but it has an ambidextrous charging handle back here to get your mags charged up. Make sure the red dot is on. Now this thing is not zeroed, so we're just gonna see what we see. We're mainly checking for function. So I didn't even finish that mag yet, but it's cool because now I have a safety and I can't get to the trigger. So let's get a different profile of those shots. Okay, just want to get a side profile. It did lock open, which is legit. I was kind of worried about that. Now, there is one thing that I have not figured out how to make happen yet, and that is the bolt release. And so basically, this little plastic piece right here is covering our slide stop slide release. So if I put a mag in it, it won't work. So basically, we can still pull back here, but there is no bolt release that I can make work. So let's put a few more rounds through this one, then we'll test out the pistol caliber carbine and compare the two. All right, let's try the other one. All right, so now we have my CMMG Banshee with all the mods. I'm gonna be using a 31 round ETS Group magazine. Big shout out to ETS Group for sponsoring today's video. Thank you guys. I also have I think it's a 5 or 10% off discount code for these mags. So if that's something you wanna check out, I'll put a link below. I don't ever recommend carrying or using aftermarket magazines for self-defense and stuff, but they're great for at the range when you wanna save your OEM mags so you can use those for self-defense. But needless to say, let's try this one. Very nice. I just kind of wanted to shoot through that to see kind of how it feels. Now let's go to the house. Let's take the micro Roni apart and let's see if it can actually compete with an actual built AR-9. All right, so let's go over the micro Roni real quick, what comes in the box, and then we're gonna go over the pros and cons of the micro Roni versus the AR-9 and which one that I would choose if I could only have one. I had a couple of problems with the Fab Defense KPOS when I did that review a little over a month ago. Now, they weren't really problems with the product itself. It was more like problems that I had with it personally. Two problems, of course, on the Fab Defense KPOS. It did not have a brace on it. It had a stock. Because it had a stock, I couldn't put a pistol in it without adding a 16-inch barrel, and that 16-inch barrel, although it was kind of cool, it was kind of useless. And it kind of just made it cost a lot more money for what you get. The second problem that I had with it was there was no safety over the trigger right here. So this one has an ambidextrous safety that goes up and down. I like that a lot. If this thing is cocked, your finger is not gonna get in there to pull it without pushing it down. And yes, that's the Strike Industries trigger. I'll have a review coming out very soon. Don't worry. Now, the other thing that I liked about this one is the ease in which you put this thing together and take it apart. Now, this one is cool because it does come with the sights and this red dot sight right here. I accidentally left this red dot on the other day when I went to the range, so hopefully it still works. There it is. It's gonna look huge because of the way that it is, the way that the camera's focused, but pretty cool. It also has a removable screen right here. I forgot what these are used for. I'll annotate it on the screen, but you can take that off if you don't want to. I believe it's like to reduce glare, but I could be 100% wrong about that. I just can't remember. Now this red dot, it looks awfully familiar to the Vortex Spark AR. I can't say 100% certain if it is, but I did a review on it a long time ago and it looks very, very similar. So far it's running good and it's holding 0. I can't really attest for the battery life yet, but I will put a link to where you can find all the specs about all of this stuff. I will also be making an update video moving forward in the future. Let's jump up top real quick. Let's go over some of the differences between this one and the Fab Defense KPOS. Then let's talk about the pros and cons of the Micro Roni versus an AR9 and which one I would choose and why. Back up top. Let's go over the pros and cons of both the Micro Roni and an AR9. Now we're not going to be talking specifically this AR9 because this is a higher end AR9 and they can be built for a lot less expensive. Let's talk about the AR9 pros and cons first. Number one, the pro, you have a proprietary system, meaning it's not sharing the platform, of the Glock like the Micro Roni. Now that could be a good thing or a bad thing. One good thing about ARs is we all know how reliable they are. Generally, don't get me wrong, anything can go wrong with any gun out there, but generally speaking, AR-15s, AR-9s are pretty darn reliable, especially if you don't skimp out on some of the most important parts like the bolt carrier, the barrel, things of that nature. Another pro to getting an AR-9 is the size of it. Don't get me wrong, I have this flash can on here, but this is literally where the barrel ends right here. Overall length when the Roni is unfolded, in this configuration right here, in the firing position, the AR9 is actually a little bit shorter. The smallness goes to this. Mine's just longer because I made it a little longer. Nothing wrong with that. In the folded position, it is so much smaller than the AR9. This guy is a lot shorter. I think I got the ends met up there. You can see how much shorter it is. So this one will easily fit under your seat, in your trunk, in your car, in your backpack, if you're going out hiking somewhere or something like that. The next pro to the AR9 is you have a wider range of magazine availability. So you have greater variability with the magazine capacity. Whereas with the Roni, I don't know if they make this one for a Glock 26, but I doubt they do. You're limited to whatever your gun is. So, theoretically, you could get a Glock 19 and do a grip chop on it, but hey, I digress. The other pro to an AR9 over, I would say, like the Micro Roni is the manual of arms. A lot of people that shoot AR-15s are very familiar with the controls of it, familiar with the safety, with the way you charge it, and with the way that you grip this. So that's definitely a pro. The next pro, with the AR platform, you have a ton of upgrade options. You can get drop-in triggers made for AR9s. You can change the grip angle like I did and get a better grip on here. You can change out the braces, or you can make it an SBR if that's something you're into. You can do a lot of stuff with muzzle devices and things of that nature. So that is super awesome. The main con to this, you're gonna have to buy a separate firearm and fill out another 4473 and go through a background check to receive this. So with the Micro Roni, first I wanna compare it to the Fab Defense KPOS that we reviewed last time. This is a much better option. If you're just dead set on converting your Glock to a pistol caliber carbine, this is probably the most reliable way to go. And honestly, I feel like you get a whole lot more for your money with this. The fact that it has a brace on it means we don't need a 16-inch barrel because it's classified as a pistol. The other pro that this has over the Fab Defense KPOS is it has a safety right here. That was one thing that I could not stand about the Fab Defense KPOS, and that really bothered me. The other thing about this one, and this could be a pro or a con, just kind of depends on how you look at it. This one is made 100% of polymer, whereas the Fab Defense KPOS is a hybrid between polymer and metal. That may add in a little extra rigidity on your Picatinny rail on the Fab Defense, but what this lacks in the rigidity of the Picatinny rail, it makes up for in being lightweight. One of the cons though to this is obviously, like I mentioned, I can't get this bolt release to work to save my life. That really sucks. I do like, however, that this one does have ambidextrous charging, so I can pull it from the left side here, or I can pull it from the right side. So if you're left-handed or right-handed, it really doesn't doesn't matter, it will work. The safety is also ambidextrous. The other pro to this is it did come with the CAA red dot as well as these flip up iron sights right here, all in the same packaging. And like I showed you guys up close, there is a place where you can put a CAA weapon light. Now the downside to that is you're kind of limited on what type of weapon light you can put into this slot. If you didn't want to use that one, you could always attach one to one of these side rails, you know, kind of just pros and cons, pros and cons. Another one of the pros of this one is if you shoot Glocks, you're 100% comfortable with them. It really does help. Let's just pretend you're using your EDC gun. You know that trigger very well. So when you're out here reaching out and shooting, that trigger pull, the trigger break, and the reset, they're all gonna be very predictable and familiar to you. One of the questions though I saw in the last video that I had was, do these things really increase accuracy? Well, as far as the accuracy of the gun, not at all. As far as the accuracy of the shooter, it really depends. Possibly yes. Main way that it makes you more accurate, it gives you a more stable shooting platform. With a handgun, we have 2 points of contact on the gun and it's less stable. When we put it into a device like this and turn it into a pistol caliber carbine, we now have 4 points of contact. Theoretically, 3 points of contact. You got it here, you got it here. Theoretically, you got it on your cheek and it might incidentally hit your shoulder. So we kind of have 4 points of contact. Thus, that lends to having a more stable shooting platform, and that can result in better accuracy. At the end of the day, I really feel like this one is worth the price that they're asking for it. Depends on which setup you get. You can get this as a kit that also comes with the tactical light. I'll put some links to that one as well. And you get a lot for your money. You know, you get the red dot, the sights, this chassis system. You also get a sling. I just don't remember where I set the sling. And they're around the $400 to $500 mark, just depending on where you get it. I'll look for some deals and coupon codes for you, so check in the description. However, even though I think this one is worth the money, if I was gonna have something that I wanna put a lot of rounds through, I still prefer an AR9 platform. I'm not gonna say specifically you need to go get the CMMG Banshee. This is a $1,500 AR9, but you can build these for really good prices. I'll actually put some links to some really good build kits that are super affordable down in the descriptions. These have come down in price significantly in the past couple of years. You can probably build an AR9 right now for about the same price as this Roni is right now. And with this one, you will actually get a full firearm, whereas with this one, you still got to provide a $500 Glock. So at the end of the day, you know, with no upgrades on your Glock, this is about $1,000 to $1,100 gun as it sits. This, being a high-end AR9, is around $1,400 to $1,500. You guys can kind of do the math. If I could only choose one, I'd most definitely go with the AR9. But I will say, if I just really had to have a truck gun or something super concealable for a backpack gun, I would definitely go with this for a backpack gun. I hope that clears things up, but I do have a question for you. If you have played with this and you couldn't get your bolt release to work, let me know down in the comments how you got that to work, because I want to figure that out because it's bugging the crap out of me. Let me know what you think down in the comments section below. I'd love to hear you guys' feedback, but until next time, you guys stay sexy and I love you.